I love Frank Ocean. He is probably one of the few artists you can count on your hands with a flawless discography. I've been a fan of Frank's music for quite some time now, so I thought I would share my 10 essential Frank Ocean tracks. Basically the tracks I feel like are the most important in his discography. Not particularly tracks that are his absolute best, just his most significant releases and my personal favorites. And tracks that I specifically chose because they are a bit slept on. And again, these are just my personal favorites. Feel free to tell me yours in the comments. Now let's start with some honorable mentions. Monks is a beautiful track. I love the instrumental on this one, and some of Frank's bars here are very memorable, especially with the way he delivers them. White is a little interlude produced by Tyler the Creator, and I don't know why, but it's so mesmerizing. It's probably one of the best interludes I've ever heard. Facebook Story is a skit, and it talks about how social media has impacted someone's relationship in a really bizarre way. I'm putting this here because it really stuck with me when I first heard it, especially with that nostalgic instrumental playing in the background. Be Yourself is basically a phone call of Frank's mom telling him to not try to be someone else and to not do drugs, and it's very nostalgic sounding for some reason. And finally, Pretty Sweet is insane, especially those first 30 seconds. Have you ever been in a car that's driving too fast, that it's borderline dangerous, that it's borderline you're gonna die? That's exactly how those first 30 seconds feel. Okay, so now that we're done with the honorable mentions, let's finally get to my 10 essential Frank Ocean tracks. I'm starting off with Nights because this track holds a special place in my heart, because it was the first Frank Ocean track I ever listened. And it's very important to me because from that point on, I was open to more music like this. Before listening to Nights, I was only into Uzi and Young Thug. Listening to Nights made me want to listen to stuff that was a bit softer, which led me listening to more artists with various different sounds. Man, I have great memories attached to this track. The instrumental is just straight like mesmerizing and very dreamy sounding. There's a great beat development, and around that 3-minute mark you get to experience one of the best beat switches of all time. Ever since Beethoven made Whatever This Is. Definitely give this a listen if you want to get into Frank's music. You'll thank me later, it's worth your time. If you haven't seen Forrest Gump, you probably don't like Frank Ocean's Forrest Gump, and that makes you a bitch. This is a track that you can't really explain to someone with words. It sounds kinda corny, but you have to listen to it to get it. Everything from the simple guitar melody mixed with those constant kicks to Frank's raw vocals and that whistling at the end.
That's that real music, man. Come back home.
The lyrics on this track are dead simple, but very, very charming. Frank Ocean basically turns into a fanboy for Forrest, maybe implying that Frank is seeing some parallels between his life and Forrest's life. If you watch Forrest Gump, then listen to Forrest Gump, you'll thank me later, trust me. Good Guy is an interlude. Frank here tells a story that has a narrative which is pretty obvious, but also feels like a damn riddle. It basically takes you on an anxious journey of meeting a potential lover, talking about some small details that happened between the two of you. Like the girl taking Frank to a gay bar, or the fact that she texts nothing like she looks, implying that he met this particular love interest online. I don't really have much else to say about this track. It's so simple yet so damn complex, especially with that ending skit about this guy telling that he don't fuck with bitches no more. The pacing is slow, but I love it. And it's definitely one of my personal highlights from Blonde. Siegfried is one of Frank Ocean's most special songs. It's one of the few songs out there that make me shiver every time I listen to it. The entirety of the song sounds like it was recorded live in one take, with the instrumental sounding like it's playing far away from you, mixed with some ambient noise. This was another track I was listening during a big transition in my life, and whenever I listen to it, I remember those times. But I also feel like there's more memories to attach this to, and that is very rare for a song to achieve. On this track, Frank is singing about identity and self-discovery, isolation and loneliness, romanticism, complex emotions, but to be honest, you could throw all that lyric bullshit aside and you will still feel nostalgia. This song makes me feel nostalgic for moments I've never experienced. It's so strange. I definitely recommend listening to this track if you've been sleeping on it, because I was sleeping on it, and man, that was a big ass nap. Provider for me is on this list because this was again a song I discovered right after Nights. And this is straight up like summer. Beautiful sky, beach, going out with friends, having sweat everywhere from the damn heat, school coming to an end, crushing on a girl that you stopped talking to in 2019 and somehow y'all are back. I don't know if it's the beat or if it's just me feeling nostalgic, but you can't play this song in the winter and feel something. It's a summer song. As far as Frank Ocean tracks go, it's pretty generic though, in terms of what he's bringing out with his vocal performance. And that makes it pretty easy to like almost instantly go listen to this track right now. Like right now. When I first listened to Nikes, I did not like it at all, mostly because of Frank's high-pitched vocals. While re-listening to Frank's discography for this video, Nikes really clicked for me. If you know me, you know I don't really listen to sad music often because it puts me in a bad mood, but Nikes was the exception this past week. I also found myself relating to some of the lyrics on this, but I don't really want to go deep into the lyrics because I don't feel like going down that rabbit hole. The instrumental is slow and it kind of feels like you're on a cloud, if that makes any sense. And those last 2 minutes, my god. I could listen to those last 2 minutes forever and never get bored of them.
I would never cry to a Frank Ocean song, let's be honest. I am a man.
But I look after you. We're not in love.
So what did we learn from this segment? That Frank's balls stick to his jeans. Okay, Solo's premise is very simple. Basically, Frank is just alone. He is doing things quote-unquote solo. This song is very simple and very underrated in my opinion. Frank on this song basically goes over some experiences that he had, I think. I hope he didn't do some of these things because that would be implying that Frank doesn't switch socks no more because he has no love interest to impress. This song is dead simple, but it makes you feel something warm inside of you. I don't know if it's the beat, I don't know if it's Frank's delivery. Especially when Frank goes, solo. I'm sorry. You ever have this one song you just love because you discovered it while being in a different country or like in a different location with different people? Well, Crack Rock is a song for me. Last year, I visited the UK for the first time and it was overwhelming to say the least. Big buildings everywhere, new people everywhere. It really felt like nothing mattered anymore that I had going on back home. I used to take like long walks at 3 a.m. while I was there. And I was like, alright, I'm just gonna listen to this album from start to finish. And Crack Rock just stood out instantly. It was just it, man. The first line I instantly related to while walking, mixed that with the typical UK stuff that happens at midnight hours. And every time I listen to this song, I instantly get reminded of what my life was like back then. This song gives you a positive vibes, but the lyrics are very, very melancholic at some parts of the tracks. But I love this song so much, I just had to put it on my essentials list. Okay, so Novocaine, again, sounds like summer. The song has something very nostalgic about it. It reminds you of simple times where your only concern was playing Fortnite. It gives me Provider vibes, but Provider feels like a grown-up version of Novocaine. Like Novocaine feels like very 2010, and you know, I just love it. It's very charming and it's very special to me as well. And it's the outro skit on Channel Orange. And I've always loved this track ever since I first listened to it while being in the UK. It never really had to grow on me or anything. The song that is playing in the background on this track is called Voodoo, and I recommend listening to it on YouTube. The skit basically has Frank in his car, talking with a girl, telling him he's special. I feel like this song is more of a breakup song though, as you can hear Frank's girl leaving his car while raining. I have a new appreciation for this skit, especially these last few months. It's just different. Take this list with a big grain of salt because, well, I am biased. These songs were picked as my essentials based on my personal experiences I had listening to them. Hoping there's people who can relate to my list. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't enjoy it, then, I don't know, go watch fucking Kai Cenat.